Going through a list of things that we need to go through. I know there's like 100 and something slides, but nothing, as I said to you earlier, not everything in those slides are important from the exam's point of view. So I've actually picked up the most because I've done the exam, passed the exam. A lot of the students have done it as well, and they do come with like a brain screen dump of although PMI actually revises the exam every now and then, and you never always get one single version of the exam. But from experience and from the feedback received from the other students, there's certain topics that are very important. Takun letter, very important. Team conflict, negotiation, leadership, very important, as I've actually outlined, right? So, did you get the
Yes.
list of things via the WhatsApp? Well,
Yes, I did. I did.
yeah,
Thank you so much. This is
yeah, no.
everything from the PDF Teams,
Yeah,
right?
that's everything from the teams that we need to discuss
Okay.
from the
Does it
exam point of
mean
view.
all the others are not that, I mean,
No,
they are
not
important, but they are not questions?
they important to have an understanding, but
Yes.
as I said to you, not important from the exam's point of view. But it's good to have that understanding, so you have the end-to-end understanding of how the teams work, how to manage teams, how to manage resources, how to be a good servant leader
Mm-hmm.
nowadays. So they've actually basically taken the powers away from the project managers, and we're more like service leaders. So inverted triangle, as I've previously discussed. So just bear with me.
Mm.
I'm managing my screens. So I have you here. One moment. All right. So let's start with. So do you have the slides? Do you have those printed? Wow. Okay. So let's get to the resource management, right?
Maybe just short for what's the abbreviation of PMBOK? I haven't checked it.
Project management professional, PMP, project management.
No, and it
Sorry,
implants in the PMBOK
PMBOK.
guide.
PMBOK is basically it's a Bible. Everything that's I have it here somewhere. It's about a 800. I can give you a soft copy, 800 pages of book, but you don't have to go through it.
Learn.
Otherwise, it will take you years to go through it. So your
Okay.
benchmark of passing the PMP exam will straight if you start reading those. So there's books I have. They've been Rita Macaulay is a very good author. I have those books as well. I think the version 9 is the latest. Um, if you want to read a book, have an understanding. It's good to have a copy in a shelf, like I do over there. But there's a reason why these exam contents and slides and what's most important are the mock exam questions. So once we go through all the slides, which we're not going to spend a lot of time, probably going to spend about 10 to 12 or 15 at the max percent of our time dedicated towards your studies through the slides. The rest will be mock
Mm,
exams
okay.
to
You're
give
right.
you,
Yeah. Maybe
put you
just
in a
to
driving
understand.
seat. Yeah.
To understand, but not that's not the most important actually. The questions and everyday
Yeah, it's good to have that.
experience.
I'll share a copy of the PM Box. PM Box 7 version is the latest, right? It's used across businesses and organizations and portfolios. But again, there's books. There's a more consolidated version of books you can. I didn't read a
Mm.
book to pass the PMP exam. After I've skimmed through the slides, which is a lot of that content is a part of a business degree or an MBA, right? So,
Mm.
but the
That's the
rest is
most
you can
important. It's summarized actually.
yeah, just to have an understanding of each and every topic. But as I said to you, the reason behind sending you these slides in advance is quickly have you skim through them, right? And
Mm.
then
Mm.
then we can quickly flip through them and get to the real time questions of the exam.
Yeah.
That's gonna get you prepared because why? You'll have 40 seconds to answer a question. 40 seconds.
Are the questions and the answers with the circling or?
Now there's the ones I have. See, there's sometimes there's more than one correct answer, right? More than one correct answer, but it's done by a system because that's why you finish the exam, you get a prompt straight away that you either you pass or fail, or which one of these domains, like business integration, business improvement, for example. Okay, you've done below average, average, or above average. Okay, so this is how the is it in that one? Yeah, so I wanted to show you a quick sample of what, and then the certificate will just follow. So we'll share those documents with you, but the certificate looks a bit like that. If you see on top, it's probably because of the light.
Yeah,
So,
it's light. I cannot see.
yeah, the light there. So I'll share the soft copies with you, but you'll get a quick result on whether you've done above average, below average. If you've done more, obviously out of the three components, if you've done two below average, that means you fail. But they have a formula on how to assess you. So I'm still trying to work out how they do it, but it's PMI at the end of the day. So yeah, so let's start with where is that slide? Sorry, I seem to have.
But maybe just one short question. What do you think in real projects? How
Yeah.
strictly are the plans and the processes followed? And how much are they adapted depending on the organization? Or
Look, in
according to
predictive,
me, it's flexible, right?
now you're looking for flexibility, but do we get the stakeholders to agree to those variances or changes to deliverables? Do change control board agree to it? If it's going to cost you $100,000 extra, where are you going to get the money from? You're going to get them to formally sign off. Even when you have the charter to all the way to the closure documentation, everything has to be legally signed off. Why? Because there's a term called World War, and that means going to court, and you don't want anyone to take you to court for not abiding by. A lot of the times, a lot of the projects are terminated. Why? Because they're not meeting the cost or scope expectations of the sponsor or stakeholders. It's called killing of a project. They just kill it. Right? So in the interest of time, let's quickly go through it. Do you have the slides with you? So team building, first component. Yeah.
The team, build a team, right?
Yeah, team building, slide 3.
Slide 3, project
Yeah.
team.
Yes. Excuse me. Yeah, team building, obviously, it's a part of the project resource management plan, is to identify, acquire, and manage resources. Identify what we need, acquire what we need, whether it's through the suppliers, with your buying process, strategic sourcing process, tenders process, anything you do, each and every company has a different way of acquiring stuff. There's different processes, different softwares and systems used. The systems and processes are unique to each and every organization, right? So it's called organizational process assets, OPA, right? Organizational process assets. Whether it's your Excel templates, your CRM software, your SAP system that's customized to the business needs, right? So OPAs are a part of the resource management plan. So basically your project, you got estimation, acquiring and managing. Estimate the resources, team members will need to carry out the work, obtain people, right? Get the people. If you writing a software, testing, get a testing team, obtain those people, develop those people, upskill those people, and sort of polish them, right? Nurture them as a team to suit the business teaming environment, and then track their progress, track their performance through regular performance reviews or appraisals, they call it in some businesses as well. So each and every team, again, they have a different level of motivation. Some teams are motivated by incentives, money. Obviously, there's two reasons. Remember, I said why we are in business. One is to make money. Second is to make more money. Even non-profits make money. They have the budget as well. So there's only two reasons I believe that we are in business. Okay, make money and make more money. Right? There's no other. No one does work for charity. No one goes to the office for charity. Right? There's obviously incentive involved. Some teams prefer incentive as well as recognition, appraisal, public recognition of their performance. Very important in sales and business development teams. You know, pharmaceutical companies, they have incentives to the doctors to prescribe their pharmaceutical medicines.
Yes.
Holiday packages to Vegas or Europe. I've got people I've worked with and taught the executives in pharma companies as well. They have doctor packages, and doctors has a certain percentage or incentive in each and every tablet or injection or any pharmaceutical they prescribe. Massive money in the Ozempic, especially after these subsidies recently by FDA. Anyway, project team composition, right? Different people from different backgrounds, organizations, cultures, locations, and scope. Again, coming back to my argument about virtual teams and co-located teams, right? Best method of communication between teams is just to get your understanding. You work with teams, right?
Yes.
Multicultural teams, people who speak different languages, obviously with English being the common language, right? Best way to communicate, is it email? Is it telephone?
Email.
Is it Zoom?
Everything to have written.
No. Most effective way? Or is it face-to-face?
Face-to-face.
Face-to-face. Emails could take 2 or 3 days to reply for it. I was just going through someone who's got 32,000 emails. How are you supposed to get through it in a day? Long cycle times, delays, project varies, things change on a daily or even hourly basis. Look at stock exchange here, system running right here. Stock trading, things are changing on every second to second basis. You can't expect someone, your broker, to reply to your email in 3 days when things are changing on a 5 minutes basis.
But
right?
you know what, Yas? Yeah, I agree completely with you. For example, we have 2 days in a week possibility for home office week. But for me also, it's when I have events or something face-to-face to do in the office with my colleagues to make it, I don't take home office. Because face-to-face is the quickest way of the communication.
This is why they develop, sorry to cut you off, a daily stand-up. Face-to-face, you can't do daily stand-up virtually. It's like, hey, you're my team. I'm your servant leader. I'm your project manager. What we did yesterday, what we did today, and are there any roadblocks to what we're going to do tomorrow?
But that's why usually during the meeting we are making protocols, or we are also using Microsoft Planner.
Yeah,
with when I am assigning the tasks.
Yeah, Microsoft Project online, Jira, Asana, Trello, you name it, right?
We're using the planner and to assign the tasks, not to forget, because when you speak face to face, not everybody will know the tasks. And that's why one of my team leader, for example, she's not now for the summit my team leader, but for the other services. And she's always saying, please always have a written communication with your stakeholder partners. Doesn't matter what. There's everything written.
Yeah. Formalize it. You could have your supplier or your stakeholder agree to something now, and by the time you walk out of that meeting room, all right, they'll have a different statement. I didn't say that. I didn't agree to that. Formalize it. Get them to sign off. It's called project sign off. Charter, time boxing, even iterations, right? Retrospectives is like, okay, what we learned from what we just missed, right? Sign off, right? Legally cover yourself. This is what you need to be good at as a project manager.
Yeah. Very good explain. Thank you.
Face-to-face, most important. All right, least important, email. then telephone, then virtual Zoom, right? Even the co-located teams in the same building, they have to have a face-to-face. You could be located you could have 6 offices in the same city. I used to work for a defense manufacturer right here. They used to build tanks. And these tanks over here, right? Oh, okay. So 6 offices in Sydney. The team is hardly getting time to speak to each other. All right, that's a loss of time. All right, get them to socialize, get a face-to-face impression on what teams are about. Teams about working together, right? There could be people from different multicultural backgrounds. Someone from India, someone from Europe, someone from US or UK. How are you supposed to work together, right? On the team project objective. So moving on to the team composition, could be contained, as I said, as I touched on it, different cultures, right? Different requirements. That slide number 8, appraisals, we talk about it. Their skills appraisals, their performance appraisals, their reviews. All right, diversity, we touched on it. Resource management plan. Again, RMP is a project document that identify resources, how to acquire, allocate, monitor, and control them. This is what the project is all about. Identify, so why we need to have a project. Project is a unique endeavor. It has a fixed time length. It doesn't go forever. Mostly project, the predictive style, they last from 12 to 18 months. And there's different phasing along the project. So, right? So I'm going to pick up the most important stuff. So skipping assigned project responsibilities, that's again, it's a part of your resource management plan, right? Okay. Rates, RSEI chart, very, very important. All right, responsibility and assignment metrics, RSEI. Who's going to do what? My tester can't do a coding. My coder can't do a form development. All right, your form developer cannot do my sales. All right, my sales guy can't do my logistics and HR. Who's going to do it? All right, according to the responsibility assignment metrics, it's a whole document. So then there's example of RSCI chart on. Let me try and share the screen with you. Share screen. How do I do it?
RICI resource assign.
Yeah, RSCI metrics. Yeah.
What is it? The abbreviation?
Yeah, abbreviation is responsibility, accountability, consultation, responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. RSCI metrics.
Okay, yes. Below there is statuses.
Yeah. Okay, that's my RSCI metrics. Moving on, I'm just trying to see how to share my screen. Video. But you have the printed form of slides, yeah?
I have.
So nurturing a team performance according to their knowledge, skills, and attribute, right?
Yes.
Give you an example from driving. When you're driving and you have Google Maps running, Google Maps is picking up constant feedback about police, about cameras, right? The construction work, school zones. It's asking you to touch it, right? If you know what you're doing and if you know how to drive and someone sitting next to you will tell you, hey, watch out, there's a truck, right? That's a worry for you. You'll hate that. Yes? And if you don't know what you're doing, and if someone would tell you, okay, you need to go straight and turn right, that's the way to go, that's a blessing from the God. So it depends on your competence level. How do you nurture your team? What are its skill levels? If you don't know what you're doing, all right, if anybody taps you on the shoulder, it's called team pairing. We'll come to that concept later.
The leadership, good leadership.
Yeah, pair programming, they call it. Yeah, pair programming is the actual term, right? All right, so pair programming, how do you pair 2 people amongst your team? You can have a tester and a coder sitting together. Coder is coding, tester is testing at the same time. work gets done in half as much as time, right? Knowledge transfer between teams, that's slide number 19. Again, facilitate, collaborate, promote visibility, right? Check the team charter. Ground rules, very important, right? I have a team of 10 people, for example. Ground rules, okay? Team defined ground rules, team norms. This is what you're not supposed to interrupt. You don't interrupt. There's question time at the end of the meeting, right? Let's take all the questions to the meeting minutes so we can actually have the flow. You could have a government official and a minister sitting in your meeting, and if someone keeps on raising the hand and interrupting, how would you feel as a project manager? There's question time at the end, right? Again, manners, shared values between the teams, communicating effectively, not being too loud or not being too soft, having that balance when you talk, right? So again, that touches on PMI codes of ethics and professional conduct. Each and every project professional, whether it's a CAPM or PMP certified, has to meet a certain standard of code of ethics defined by Project Management Institute, PMI. Team charter, again, team charter, you get, okay, Marina, tell me, like any instrument, right, like project charter, what's the most important thing about team charter? It's easy to write a set of rules. That's slide number 23. Slide 23.
Shared values, guidelines for communications and use of tools, decision-making guidelines, conflict resolution measures, meeting time, frequency, and channel. Other team agreements, example, shared hours.
What's the most?
What is the most important?
Yeah, tell me. Sign off. Formally get him to agree to it. Legally cover yourself. So next time you actually have to reassign someone or terminate someone, you would know that they have signed the team charter. That's predictive style. That's top-down approach. All right. It's good to have an understanding of predictive or waterfall style project management before you move on to agile. Agile.
But actually, everything is important, right? The values and
team values, manners, etiquettes, policies. Don't be political. You know, every company has different policies. You know, you're working for IBM. You're not supposed to start criticize IBM's policy or your competitors, for example. There could be legal consequences because stakeholders could be from anywhere.
Is it usual that the team members sign this document?
Yeah, all team has to sign the team charter. Team charter, ground rules, they have to be signed off by each.
But usually we sign for the work, for the job, general
that's your scope. Yeah, that's your RSCI. That's your responsible, accountable. But this is team charter has to be signed off.
Also for the team, for the project, for the confidentiality.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, we usually don't do, maybe because different organization, different setup.
See, there's different organizations. There's organizations, they are completely matrix organization. Matrix organization is all project oriented. All right, hybrid companies that are running projects at the same time they have functional. Functional manager is opposite to the project manager. Functional manager or the operations manager is never a project manager. It's the opposite. Project manager is assigned a task. Is here to get the job done. He's only here for a certain time. Yes, you can do loan. You can have team pairing. You can loan resources. A project manager or a functional manager can request each other to swap resources. For example, I need a quota, and he needs, for example, a data analyst, for example, or a typist, to be a simple version, right? You could have a person with the T-shaped skills who knows the typing or data analytics as well as the coding. So you can have the loaning, but again, it's not a common practice. They basically, I'll be hard pressed to use the word, but they're arch enemies. An operation manager is never a project manager. You have to have that project management hat. You can't expect yourself to go to work and do the same thing every day. Project manager does a different thing every day. It's multiverse. That's why they're in demand. And project managers are paid up to 25 to 40% more in terms of salaries compared to a functional manager who could probably have a 10% inflation review every year. Project manager, you can say, okay, you owe me $100,000. First payment 40%, the rest we can divide into three different half of 20%. Excuse me. Internal, external communication, I touched on it. Team communication, email, telephone, face-to-face, right?
Yeah.
Team conflicts. When you have certain people from different backgrounds, they could have conflict. They could fight.
This is one of the most important thing.
Yes, this is why it's important to have them sign off the ground rules, right? It can have dire consequences to your project. Destructive behavior,
Definitely.
animosity, poor performance, reduced productivity. Someone could be productive at the first part of the first phase of the project, for example, and then they have other issues, right? And they stop being as productive as they used to be, right? How are you supposed to how are you supposed to relocate them? But termination is not the solution. Retraining probably. Worst case scenario, okay, reassign them to a different project or a team. So ground rules violation, we touched on it. Negotiation of agreements, again, that's the service level, the different contracts, we touched on it. MOUs, you would know, being a businesswoman, memorandums of understanding, service level agreements. I used to work for an ATM manufacturer. I used to have a contract for about 79,000 ATMs across Australia, right? 3 hours fix. Every ATM gets vandalized by someone overnight who's been out for a party or whatever. So it has to be fixed in 3 hours. Whether you have the part available for a certain model in Australia or not, you next flight it, you fix it in 3 hours, otherwise you get penalties. And some of the Commonwealth Bank or Westpac Bank penalties is about $25,000 an hour. Don't get it fixed, you get penalized. That's your service level agreement. All right. You build an armored vehicle or a tank, a personnel gets hit and dies. Why? Because a bullet penetrated the hull and hit that person. What's the point of having a personal armored vehicle when a bullet can get through the hull? Obviously, it didn't meet the certain quality standard. Someone can die. All right. So, beg your pardon. Resource calendars, obviously, that's another tool, right? Who's going to do what on what day, right? So RCI metrics comes in very important. All right, so training coaching plan, not important. T-shaped skills, slide 42, we touched on it. Team achieve the likelihood of achieving the objectives. T-shape, acquired competencies, elements of training. Training, again, could be a virtual, instructor-led, which is face-to-face, self-paced e-learning, like most of the e-learning trainings you do. Document views, give them templates to take home and read it. Like you get you get the introduction package, OHS package. In some companies, you go and they give you, oh yeah, let's do your orientation. That's a part of your training. They give you a big thick file. Take it home and read it on a weekend. Right? That's our company's policies. That saves them money. Why? Because they're paying you on an hourly basis. When you work on a study on a weekend, that's coming out of your own pocket. On the job training, that task by task. Yeah. Training cost, schedule, again, specific calendar training dates. When you're working with multiple teams, you have to have, and training resources are limited as well. A lot of the companies are pushing you to online training. Why? It saves them cost and time and cost. You can do a whole module in 1 hour where an instructor can cost you $1,000 to teach you in 6 hours. Yeah, you're pairing and coaching, constantly coach the team, right? So, excuse me, sorry. Yeah. I think another set of antibiotics will fix it up.
Did you take the oregano oil?
Yeah, I've done one in the vein, and then one in the muscle. So,
What did you do?
or the
Oregano.
yeah, we'll discuss
The
it.
infusion.
The inflammation in the lungs because of the
Ah,
sand and traveling and um, yeah, there's a lot of traffic here in this part of the world, and it's not the cleanest. It's not as clean as Australia or Europe, for example. It's not. When you take a shower, you sand sits on your skull. You touch it.
no,
Yeah, you've never been to the Middle East.
no, not
Uh,
yet.
yeah. So
I
domestic.
wanted to come now, but
Sorry,
I
I don't
wanted
want
to
to show
come
you
in March.
how much of a hair I'm losing from the top. Being tall helps. But yeah, that's the downside of the Middle East because there's no water here. And geopolitically, they used to the biggest they built a $4 billion water desalination plant to purify the seawater for the use, right? And that runs
Mm.
on LPG, and Hormuz is closed. So basically, there's not going to be any water here in the next few weeks. They run out of here. So, leadership and management, as the name suggests, how to direct, maintain, administrate, focus, control, the typical MBA stuff, right? So,
Mhm.
leadership styles, right? Okay, less is fair, very important. The hands-off style, right? Your hands-off style, less is fair, is opposite to servant leader. That's slide number 58. The companies want you to be a servant leader, not less is
No, that
fair.
I printed, but there are 4 slides on one page, and so there are 8 slides
That's
on.
okay. That's not a problem.
That's
That's not a
okay.
problem. Yeah,
That's why they are a bit small. But
that's
let
a
me find 58,
that's okay.
56,
Leadership
7.
styles.
Leadership style.
You want to
Okay.
do yeah, we have about 7 minutes left in the slide. So
We can continue another day if you want, if you're busy with some
yeah,
other
I
things,
think I
I
think it's
believe.
probably best if you like, we can continue tomorrow as well, depending on if you have time available. And then instead of doing a one intensive one, we can touch on it every alternative day. Only look, I have to build a roadmap for you that suits to your availability and your family and everything else. So you tell me how many hours you're available to spare every week for your studies, and I'm going to build an Excel roadmap for you to follow. All right, that's going to contain different tasks. One
Maybe
part
two,
will
three
be
hours per week.
2 3 hours per week. So then we can do um, we can probably do 2 sessions every week or 3 sessions every week for 1 hour
Mm.
each, or we can do 2 sessions every week for 1.5 hours. It's totally up to you. You let me know. Yeah.
It depends on the time and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the week and everything.
Yeah, that's okay. We can be a bit flexible. It's not a problem.
If you are flexible, yeah.
No, no, no. That's fine. Look, I have to help you see the finishing line of it. I have to help you achieve your goal, which is there. So we'll work it out. So we can either have 2 sessions every week for 75 minutes each, or 90 minutes each, for example, or we can have
Mhm.
3 sessions, 60 minutes each every week. We'll see how we go. We
Okay,
have 5 minutes.
teacher.
Yeah. So servant leadership, without having to look at the slides, I know you don't have them. Um, the practice of leading through service, the team focusing on their understanding. So no top down, you have to do this, you have to do this. Now, okay, you're good at it. Marina, you're good at testing, right? You know what you're doing. There's a Kanban board. I'll come to that later. That's a Japanese style Kanban board. You pick up what you need to do and let me know how can I facilitate you to help you get your job done. You pick up what you're good at. That's agility
Mm.
coming to it. You pick it up. You be fully responsible and accountable for your work. And I'm not your boss. I'm not your project manager. I'm your servant leader. How can I facilitate you? If you have any approvals problem, if you have any impediments or roadblocks, you let me know. How can I help you fix them?
But should I say to my team members that they should pick? Usually, I'm the one that I'm giving, or my boss.
Yeah, but then again, what depending on what time of the team environment you have, if it's hybrid,
Mm,
or if it's matrix,
mm,
or if it's strong metrics
okay.
or weak metrics, you could be in a weak metrics where a functional manager has more authority than a project manager. Strong
Mm,
metrics mean project manager has more say on a functional or development or operations manager, right? Depending on your
okay.
type of organization.
Okay.
But the
Okay.
world is
Yes.
moving more towards uh, the floating into hybrid because not everyone wants to jump on and give the team, because they're obviously paying them, right? So give the team all ownership of the project. So they're running hybrid. Most companies running hybrid. Toyota
Mm,
hybrid, Honda hybrid. They don't want to
okay.
give everything away to the teams. They want to have some control on it. Yeah. All right. 7, leadership facilitation. Status quo, not important. Team building, we touched on it. Team building activities, again, the recognition rewards, we touched on it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how you lead a team. Team support, team culture, empowerment, typical MBA stuff. KPIs, you would know every day, your key performance indicators. All right, so smart, specific, measurable. Your team deliverables have to be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time boxed, time bound. Smart,
Where
SMART.
you? Yes. Can you tell me
Yeah,
which
hang on.
slide is it?
That is the slide number 74.
Seven
74.
four. Okay. Thank you.
Do you get it?
Yes.
Beg your pardon about my voice. Hopefully, it'll be better tomorrow. All right. So, yeah, smart. Your KPI is not important. KPIs, how good they have to be, they have to meet a certain criteria: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. Um, Team structure, not really. Empowerment, utility, team development. Tuckman letter, very important. We have about 2 minutes to go. All right, so let me quickly touch on, that's slide number 83. Tuckman model or Tuckman letter, they call it.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
There's always a question in the exam about Tuckman letter. They could be
Okay.
asking you, what are the stages of team development?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Forming, storming,
so
norming, performing, adjourning.
yeah, with
Yeah.
effectiveness on the y-axis and time being on the horizontal x-axis, you could have team form. So you form a team, all right? That's going to be the last topic I touch on today. We pretty much covered 80 slides, which is not too bad. So you form a team, you get a whole, you need a developer in the IT perspective or scenario. You get a developer, all right? You get a tester, you get a form writer, you get a typist, you get a data analyst, you get a systems engineer. Together, you form a team, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and then they sit down and get to know each other. It's about putting a number of different species of parrots or different birds together in one cage, right? They're going to get to know each other. They could have different culture or language or different skill levels, right? So they'll storm. There'll be problems, right? Once they get familiarized with each other, next stage, forming, storming, norming. Norming means they storm, they fight, as the name suggests, and the sand settles and they start getting familiarized with each other, right? It's called team
Mm.
norming. And then that peaks up the team performance. And then they start delivering, right? And adjourning means, and they keep on continuing the same thing again. A new team member enters the team, right? Is going to settle, and then the process starts again, right? So you have a team of 4. They form, they storm, they norm, they